Welcome back to West View Geo View program with Shalita. How are you, Shalita, today?
I'm great, Anurad.
Okay, so this is our I think the second episode in
Yeah,
our
second one.
Westview podcast. Today we have a brand new topic that many people would be interested in because of its uniqueness out of every other country in the world. Today we have chosen Bhutan, one of South Asian country, a landlocked country, and also a little bit unusual country when we look at the map with their history and their behaviors, their policies and things. So that's why we have selected this country to give you better insights. So Shalita,
Yeah.
I will start this way. Everyone has seen the flag of this country and they know the country, but let's go a little bit deep because we are going to give a proper outlook of this country. What is Bhutan? Where it is and how they operate? What is their history? What it looks like when we think about Bhutan?
Yeah, Anurad. Actually, that Bhutan is very interesting country. To be honest, that it is, especially when it's come to geographical, its locations. It
Yeah,
is geographically isolation nation. So
yeah,
we know
yeah,
that
yeah,
is one of the that landlocked nation, nation between China and India. Even that most of part they are depending on India. The most of
yeah.
for the most of things, and when
I
it's come to
believe, I believe as a aviation enthusiast, this is one of the most exciting country for the aviation lovers. I think that is
yeah.
because it is home to the most dangerous airport in the world. I believe it's captain on the airport. So let's talk about the geography and the history as well.
Yeah. So exactly you mentioned that this the geographical location of
Mm.
Bhutan is actually very unique to this nation. So various subtropical lands and heights fostering biodiversity and things like that. And the history also interesting that when it's come to Bhutan, that when we talk about Sri Lankan history, we know how was our country about 2,000 years ago. There are records.
Yeah.
And that when it's come to India, we know that we have the clear history about that 2,000 ago. How was our nation?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the thing is, when it's come to Bhutan, the most of the part of the history is blacked out because we don't know how was it during 12th century, 13th century, 14th century. It was like we don't know how was that the formation that actually that according to some evidence there are about there were some people there were some tribes about 2,000 years ago, but the recorded history begin with in 17th century, the formation of Bhutan.
Okay, so
Then
it
after
means
that,
probably they are a kind of a tribal country
yeah,
in up high in the mountains, and that's why maybe we don't have any recorded history. I think 17th century is pretty new.
early.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
To be honest, it is one of the earliest.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
when we talk about 17th century, it's like that even during that industrial revolution and all.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
the
When we
Bhutan
compare with
formation.
the Europe and the US and Sri Lanka, it is the modern world in 17th century. I feel, right?
Yeah. Already modern. That
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
thing is that Bhutan was that there was nation, there was people, but
Yeah.
the thing is that original Bhutan was formed during that 17th century. That after that they had some that invasions from Tibetans. They had
Hmm.
they had some wars with them, but also
Okay.
they had close relations also. That in the modern period of time, I mean that the 20th century, they had good relations with Tibetans, but
Okay.
in 17th and during 18th century they had fights, and
Okay.
also they tried to invade other countries as well, the Bhutan. That is the most interesting
Ah,
thing,
ha, 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 ha.
because they tried to capture some part of India during
Okay.
British India. That we know that there was different kingdoms in India,
Yeah.
So they tried to capture one.
Yeah.
After that kingdom, that Kochi Bihar kingdom, they asked help from the British government. And the British government fought them, and after that they had this treaty between British India and Bhutan. That was some of significant recorded things in Bhutan history. There's nothing much when we talk about that. I mean,
let me ask another question. Do we have a linear a dynasty in Bhutan? Do they have a kingdoms like kings since I don't know? Any recorded?
The Dragon Kingdom. So we say them the Dragon King. Okay. So they have this the similar to that British monarchy and all, but they have their own traditions. They have their own connections between people and all. So like their monarchy, that their king is like a father of the nation.
Okay.
So it is like that it's like a family.
Same as Arabian tribes.
Yeah. The thing is, actually, the most interesting thing is the Saudi royalty and Bhutan royalty has this connection even.
Okay. Right. Connecting each other, right?
Yeah, each other because of their similarity.
Right.
I mean, not culturally, but when it comes to that systematic.
I believe when we talk about the Dragon King, so I can recall a famous TV series related to especially for the Gen Z and millennials. There was an Australian TV series called I believe its name is Spellbinders.
Right?
Yeah. So that one also has a Dragon King. So it's a family name.
Probably inspired by this. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, Shalit, you can continue.
Yeah, so as I mentioned that they had this about 4 centuries of history, but even before, and they had some wars between Tibet and Kochi Bihar and British government and all. Then after then they went treaty, as I mentioned. So the latest developments begin with the independence of India. Okay. So they had very close relations with the Nehru government, and after that till now. So
I think technically Bhutan was never colonized.
Yeah, never colonized, because the thing is that British government never wanted them to be a colony.
Yeah,
they could. I mean, it was like easy peasy. Like they defeated them during the Kochi Bihar invasion. So Brits had the chance, but they just went with a treaty.
It never served a purpose, I believe.
Yeah. Exactly. That the thing is that it is similar to Thailand. Thailand people had a similar thing, that they never colonized. They had this understanding between the European powers. So they went to treaties and all. And also we can see the similarity between that treaty between British government and Maori people. That Watanagi treaty. The recently people it was a hot topic, so it is very similar to that. But after that, Bhutan during that they had good relations with India. However, the thing is that they are not recognized China as a nation. That's the thing.
That's what I was thinking. Let's talk about the current foreign policy, because it was being highlighted in international medias and the lobbyists and most of the commentators, because they have a very different foreign policy, and it is a playing thing in the arena, unlike some other countries which have, for example, North Korea, and so some countries are there, including Bhutan. Their foreign policies are being recognized or let's say highlighted because of their speciality. So let's talk about their foreign policy today.
So the thing is that after independence they had this similar the isolationist foreign policy. So they have these embassies in India, and they have some close relations with Bangladesh, and when it's come to European or Western powers, they had good relations with Canada, because Canada helped them with the education and all. Even during the 50s, 60s, and 70s, Canada helped them so much. So they have this understanding and relations with Canada. About 50 countries, including Sri Lanka, they have these close diplomatic relationships. But however, they are not recognizing China or Taiwan, countries like that. They have this, that the relations between nations are inevitable. but they are not official. So when it comes to, and the most interesting, another interesting thing is that they are not recognizing this, that UN defense members, the major members.
Security Council, right?
Security Council, Security Council. They have, they don't have formal relationship with them. They don't have formal relationship with England, France, Russia, US or China. So I think probably the only country on earth that has no formal relation with this Security Council, that permanent members of Security Council.
Okay, probably they are not concerning about UN support in any case due to their geography and strategic location, and they believe they are not expecting anyone as invaders currently or in the future, right? That's why they don't.
That's the thing, that because they have army, that Royal Army of Bhutan, but the thing is that 700,000 population, and military is about 20,000. So there's no way they are going to defeat any invasion. So the most realistic thing is that become a peaceful nation and relying with India and having relations with limited countries. And they are doing that what they can. Actually, it is when it's come to Bhutan, it is very practical foreign policy.
But it is depending on their interest, solely on their interest,
and their geographical locations and all.
So, meanwhile, I am really interested, and many of our listeners would be interested to understand how they are, like, what is life in Bhutan, like what kind of life they are spending in Bhutan, because we have heard many things. They have like some kind of happiness related thing when we come to the economical matters, and also carbon footprint matter, and their royals sometimes making scenes at international conferences. So we heard many things, and also I believe they have some very restrict tourism policy when it comes to the travel and tourism industry. So that is also very exciting thing to people who love to travel and who love to explore other cultures. So tell me more about the life in Bhutan.
Sure. The thing is that Bhutan economically, they don't care about that, that nominal GDP. The world have nominal GDP, and PP are the purchasing power GDP, like things like that. They are only care about that. They are not materialistic. That's the thing. So they introduced this gross national happiness index. It is a GNP instead GDP. So they introduced it during 70s. So they are focused on happiness. That the way of life,
a different way of life.
Different way of life. They think that if they have basic needs, and if their country is peaceful, and they have security and energy, and the basic needs of human being. That's the win. That's the win. They don't ask more. So it is that simple. And the thing is that it is not that the Buddhism is as a religion. It's not just a religion in Bhutan. It's just like a way of life, that living inside a temple. The Bhutan life is like that. And there are also that influence from Hinduism and some Chinese folk religions and all, and Tibetan influence. So the
is it a majority Buddhist country, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that it is majority, but it is getting reduced because that Hindu influence. That about decades ago, it was like 90% of the population was Buddhist, but now it is about 79%.
What kind of
it is that it is like similar to Tibet, that Mahayana concept and all, because these people have that literally Tibetans. Their language itself, the Bhutanese language itself is like Tibeto-Burma family language. Same roots, came from same roots. So the religion itself came from the Tibetan style. So they adapted their culture and religion together. Then they introduced this happiness.
I love to add some kind of interesting fact. This is not an official claim, but I have seen many documentaries and some of the travel videos it seems some people from Tibet, Nepal, or Bhutan, those areas, sometimes they're crossing the borders and living in other countries without getting caught. The reason, the remote areas, and they don't have any kind of proper security or filtering method. So it is a common thing that if you might find Nepal people in India, or Indian people there, or maybe Tibetan in Nepal or Bhutan. I think it is a common thing in that region due to the geographical isolation.
Yeah.
So that is also interesting fact. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. The reason, with those compact policies and some of those the measures, is it practical? Shall I ask this way? Is it a compact, closed economy or an open market economy? I believe it is a closed one. Also, what about the internet connectivity, and do they have any access to some foreign-made stuff? And also, I have a question about. I think they have some kind of a highest GDP rate in South Asia. So. Is it a practical one? Is it a real thing? So let's talk about this thing, because we can talk about policies, everything on paper, but the really matter is when it's come to the real life experiences, what is being experienced by Bhutani people. So is it a good one that many people are taking as an example? Is it a good thing for a country like maybe 20-30 million people? Because this is a very small country with a very small
about 700,000
population. It might work there, but can we take it as a role model? That is my question. So let's say let's Charlie try to answer from the situation there, and let's review that situation, whether it is a role model or not.
I don't think that it is a good role model, Anuradha, because the thing is that the new king means that he took power during 2008, I think, and they changed their constitution and most of things in their life. So this new king is like 44-year-old young man. So he changed lots of stuff in Bhutan. He changed it because it's not for better, because it's not working. The things they had is definitely not working. That even that happiness ranking and all, we call that it is a good thing and we should learn from it and all. But the thing is, they are very far behind when it's come to human development ranking. Even behind Sri Lanka. So the Sri Lankans keeps telling that we should learn from this and that from Bhutan. But I think we should never learn anything from Bhutan, because it's not going to work here. Because there's a 20 million population, there's not even 1 million. So it's not going to work anywhere. And the thing is that they use foreign things that, I mean, most of this, maybe more than Sri Lankans, because they depend on India on energy, on the basic needs and all. So if they went wrong way, then India can cut off everything. So they depend on one country, and that is it is sometimes it is very practical, because that there's no way India is going to cut everything, because Bhutan is very peaceful nation. So it is like a buffer zone between India and China. So it is tactically it is helpful for India. So they keep helping. But the thing is that this least industrialized nation, so they can't produce anything properly. They have some industries, but they are not enough. They have some these trade deals with even Turkey. But the thing is, the overall that Bhutan system is good for them, but not good for any other country, any other nation only. Because it is a lack of population. They can continue with that. And also the tourism thing, they had this very restrictive tourism, but the thing is, they slowly but surely they are lifting these restrictions one by one. So in the future, progressing. In the future, about 2-3 decades, we can see completely change Bhutan even. So these things that
shall I ask this way? Is there any chance to find a Bhutani women online if I search? right?
Yeah, they are probably, because
Yeah,
the thing
yeah,
is that
okay.
they had this. The people might interested in that.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean that the like Bhutan women's, they are very traditional and
yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah.
So
No, I just
they
asking
are.
to understand their
Yeah,
usage
yeah.
of social media and the
Yeah,
connectivity to the world.
sure.
Yeah.
Connectivity and all. So there are chances. The thing is, they had internet access since I think 1999.
Okay.
The television access was probably the last country, the final country
Yeah.
to get the television access. That all other countries got before them. Then
Ah,
after them, they gave television access to the people. Then after that, they gave internet access to the people. Especially under new king, they are expanding these technological advance, but still it's not enough. But it's safe to say they are progressing in this area. So we can communicate with Bhutan civilians today
Yeah.
more than a decade ago. Within 3 decades after, in the future, Bhutan might be like a country like that any other country.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
this way, at this rate, they're going to lifting that economic restrictive things and cultural barriers and all. In future, it will be completely different nation, because this isolation policy, we cannot in this century we cannot go with this isolationist mindset.
Yeah, I believe they have like zero carbon footprint policy or something like that. Is it true? Like, shall we learn about that?
Yeah. Other thing is that they have zero carbon footprint. It is obvious, because they're the least industrialized nation on earth. But the thing is, they're buying everything from India. So they're consuming things, and those things produced by India. So India has this, they are emits carbon. So, indirectly they are consuming stuff.
Yeah, so they are.
It's not practical either.
They are making their problems someone else's. So that's the theory. So
That's the theory.
so we have to calculate that one as well, I believe. If it's I don't know whether they have been calculated that thing, but if it is the case, we have to count that one as well, the imports from India as well. So finally, I just like to know one thing, that is many people love to visit Bhutan. So let's wrap up with this way. I couldn't ask what is their the major way of income of the country, what is their major industry, and that one is one question. The other one is, it is worthy to visit this country.
Actually, indeed, it is worthy, because that this new culture experience, we cannot deny that.
Yeah.
That Bhutan is one of the most unique nation on earth.
Yeah.
So it is actually that if someone learning about Eastern philosophies, and if someone interested in the way of life in Buddhist culture and all, then it is surely that Bhutan is number one choice.
Yeah.
And the thing is that tourism is one of the main part of their economy. So these people cannot go with tourism, because it is the simplest way they can generate their wealth. They have this strong tourism programs, but with the restrictions, as I mentioned earlier. Also, they have the strong agriculture values in their culture. Sometimes they are self-sufficient when it's come to some part of goods, especially when it's come to agriculture things. And also, also they have strong transportation system, especially designed for the tourism, well-being of tourism. So I think it is overall worthy country to travel, and also the economy depend on that, and also there are significant agricultural activities in there. So overall, Bhutan is not a bad nation. I mean, I'm not disrespecting to them or anything. The thing is that they are own people. That's constructive criticism. The thing is that we cannot learn anything from Bhutan. Bhutan is that 700,000 population, as I mentioned earlier, so they can go with it. It is not working even in a central province in Sri Lanka. That's the thing.
So then we will wrap up the today episode. I believe, Shalita, we can talk about more of the historical and some of uncovered areas in the world, because at West We've our duty to show some of the most underrated information, underrated views in East, especially for the Eastern population, also the Western population who is
interesting in this.
interested in. So let's wrap up today's episode. So we are expecting to see you next week. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Visit our website www.westview.com. So then, Shalita, let's see you in the next week. Goodbye.
Yeah, see you,
Thank you.
see you, see you. Goodbye.